Welcome back to the channel. As promised in the short I put out a little earlier this week, it's time to do this Remington 370 20 gauge shotgun refinish. So I'm going to start by pulling off the wood stocks, and I've never done wood refinishing in my life, so this will be new to me. So enjoy watching me fumble over refinishing wood and rebluing as usual. Going to try out my new electrician screwdrivers slash poor man's hollow ground screwdrivers. There we go. Alright, so unfortunately all of these screws in this entire gun are all Phillips head, so I don't get to try out my new semi hollow ground flathead screwdrivers. But this kit also came with 3 Phillips head sizes, so we'll be using those as well. So anyway, back here we have to pull off 2 screws. This gun seems all original. Parts are correct, unlike that Remington Richardson I worked on a little while ago where the stock wasn't original and screws weren't. So this one looks like it's going to be something that may look like it should when I'm done. So I can just 2 Phillips head screws come out of the butt plate. I think underneath here there will be the screw that holds the butt stock onto the frame. See inside here, some dirt. It's like a squirrel built a nest in here. I'm joking about that, obviously, but again, we're not going to pull this all apart. We're going to reblue it as assembled, but definitely give it a good cleaning out of here and oil it up before functioning. But you can see the rust inside here. Okay. Oh, zoom in here a little bit. Definitely some surface rust. Boy, this camera does not want to focus. And then a lot of sawdust. So I don't know if that was just from the factory, if we had ants living in here. I'm sort of joking about the ants. But there it is. Probably never been taken apart. So the surface rust has gotten wet at some point. We'll also take metal parts off the foregrip. Phillips head screwdrivers feel nice. A chip of wood right there. I'm not sure what that's all about. That comes out cleanly. Right there. But fore end's not in bad shape. 2 more Phillips head screws right there, holding this hinge part in. And the screws are longer that go into that part, so I gotta remember. Longer screws hold the metal hinge on the fore end. Shorter Phillips head screws hold the latch assembly, I'll call it. Okay. Close up with the barrel, surface rust here and there. That should clean up pretty good. I've learned a little more about bluing since the last gun I did, so hopefully that'll turn out a little better. So now we're putting all the metal parts off to the side. Bought the citrus strip. It's $17 or $18 for this little container. Hopefully it doesn't take too much. Boy, that's sealed. And then pour it in some sort of container. Get a brush and paint it on. Obviously I don't want to do this on top of my workbench because that already has a finish and stain on it, so put this cardboard here. Got the birchwood Casey True Oil kit, so hopefully in the end with that walnut stain they'll match a little better. I have no idea what kind of wood this is, but hopefully it'll darken enough to kind of match these two a little better in the end. Alright, while I'm waiting for that to do its magic, I'm going to go ahead and start trying to strip off this old bluing, the wire wheel first. Eyes and ears on, especially when you're working with a wire brush. Alright, now I'll take the steps of on the birchwood Casey bluing procedure, which is degrease first. Next, apply the blue and rust remover. Sit for a couple minutes. It's been a couple minutes. So get some wetted steel wool, use some water, and it should remove a lot of bluing. Okay, well, this barrel's looking a little cleaner than the last one I did. That turned out a little blotchy, so hopefully this time it'll work. I'll degrease it one more time. I'll probably do a blue and rust remover one more time, degrease it, and then get ready to blue it. I don't want to touch the receiver quite yet. I want to practice my bluing on the barrel. I think that's a little more forgiving, hopefully. Just degrease it now. I'll try the rust and blue remover one more time. Wasn't meant to record that. I'm not sure you can really see the details here. But it's slightly pitted all along up here. I use 400 grit sandpaper. I may try 1000 grit just in the rest of the barrel because I see some kind of swirl marks, and I'm not sure if it's going to come out in the bluing or kind of the bluing will level that out, or if it's actually going to stay like that. So I'm trying to get better at this stuff, so I'm trying to take more time prepping the surface this time around than I did last time. Okay, 1000 grit sandpaper. Okay, let's see if I can do better bluing this time. So it's prepped, it's polished lightly, steel wool. So we should see this turn black instantly. That's why last time it didn't really take to it, so we'll see. Okay, now we're seeing some turn black. Let's just have a minute here. I'm trying to stop the, keep it nice and even. It really does run. It's good coating everywhere, that's for sure. Yeah, just rinse it off with water now. Lightly polish it up with some double aught steel wool. Boy. Sorry about the camera angles. It's real pain trying to videotape this and work and try and keep it in the frame. Alright, well, off camera I'm going to repeat those steps a few times. Degrease it, blue it, rinse it, steel wool to brighten it up, and then repeat that a few times. So you'll see how it looks like right now, a little blotchy. We'll see how it looks after 4 of those cycles. Okay, let's do the receiver now. My battery died while I was sanding up the receiver, cleaning it, degreasing it. It's not perfect. We'll see how this turns out. It was pretty brown and rusty before, so here it is. We'll get the ready for the bluing. See how bad this one's going to turn out. See if I can get the camera in here. Oh boy. It's not taking it everywhere. It's just taking longer to blue. Watching this all over again. Seems like this bluing is just old, but it's literally a week old. But that doesn't seem right. It seems like it's kind of gummy when I'm trying to scrape it off. It'll come off a little cleaner. This doesn't seem right. Should watch the how-to video on this guy. Alright, I'm going to try a rag and some mineral spirits and see if that dissolves this stuff. Running out of rags here. Alright, it's bedtime. Just put the barrier guard barricade on here, let it sit overnight for both parts, the barrel and the receiver. As usual, nothing turned out perfect, but it looks a whole lot better than it did. So the stock right now, I use mineral spirits to clean off the stripper. So I want to let this overnight, get all the mineral stripper off there, then tomorrow I'll probably put some stripper on there again. And I have about an hour, and then take it off after 30 minutes, see if I can clean this. This stuff's still not fully stripped. And then I'll sand it and start over. So the wood looks similar-ish underneath these stain. So if I stain a walnut, they should match pretty well. So anyway, oh, I can't stand this finished work. I'm not good at it. That's it for tonight. All right, back to the wood parts. I think I left this on too long, the Citra strip the other day. So I cleaned it off with mineral spirits just to get the stickiness off it. So it says a half hour. I'm going to paste it on again for a half hour and then come back. Hopefully that'll be easier to scrape off and less gummy. So that's the plan right now. Alright, let's see how this looks. Stock first. Yeah, it's definitely a little gooey this time, that's good. Okay, the stocks are ready for sanding. This one's pretty uneven. We got a dark spot there. I'm not sure what that's all about. Especially this side of the gun, the bottom really. So we're gonna sand it down. We'll start with 120, and then we'll go higher up in numbers as we go. So we'll see. I don't have a sanding block, so hopefully I don't do any damage with this. But anyway, we'll time lapse this.
So you made it that color, you just made it like that? I kind of like that.
Alright, doing a lot of sanding on this thing. Went down to 100, back to 120 to 150, and now we're going to 320. So I don't have anything between, so we'll see how this smooths things out. Still some spots here. I'm going to stain this, so it should cover up those spots, I hope.
Yeah, looks like we just got it from the factory.
Now we're going to go to this part here. We'll start with 120, see if we can get away with this one with 120. Okay, here's the final product before I'm going to stain these. Had some splotches I just couldn't get out without sanding too crazy. So I think the walnut stain will kind of even it out, I hope. So we'll give this a go. I'm not good at any of this stuff, so we'll see. So I took some of this walnut stain, kind of mixed it 50-50 with water as per the instructions. So my color in here is 50-50 stain and water. I'm trying using a foam brush. You'll see how this works as well as I do. Watching this live. See if we can get this thing to hang up now. Almost slipped out there. Okay, well, I tried cutting it 50-50. I didn't like it, so I went full on dark and then tried staining it. So that's where it has lighting up there like that. So that part didn't take the stain or something. Both spots in the back, but I know I cleaned that really well. Okay, so the walnut stain turned out okay. See, it's kind of like gray in here. I'm not sure what that's all about. I tried using mineral spirits on it this morning to see if I can clean out anything left over, but I'm just going to go ahead and put True Oil on it, see how it turns out in the end. Let's see how the fore end turns out. Hope this is a good angle where you can actually see what I'm doing. This is how they're looking after the second coat. So I coated it once, did double odd steel wool, buffed it a little bit, and then just put on the second coat of True Oil. There you go. Do this a few more times over the next couple days and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, I think I've gotten 5 coats on this so far of True Oil after the stain. It's starting to get pretty smooth. Probably do one more sanding with, I have 1000 grit sandpaper after it fully dries, and then one final coat. We should be done. Found my lint-free rag wasn't very lint-free, so I gotta sand off some of that lint there. Anyway, it's coming along. I think it's gonna look good. Let's all put back together. Alright, so we're at the point where we're gonna do one more polish and then one more coat and be done. It's not bad, but it's got a little roughness to it. So I've done double odd steel wool a couple times, dry, and then even with True Oil in it to kind of in between coats. But I used 1000 grit sandpaper 3 coats ago, and it really seemed to get smooth afterwards. So I'm going to try that again. Again, it's very smooth. It's not like it's 280 or something like that. So it's probably not going to do that much scuffing up, but just a little bit to smooth out any rough edges before we do our last coat, and hopefully get this gun back together tomorrow and get this video done and out the door. It's been a week in the making. This cloth, wipe it off. Sawdust off there. It's late and I should be going to bed here soon, but I want to get this thing one last coat. Let it dry for 12-24 hours and then finally get this going back together. I'm excited to see how this one turns out. I think it should be better than my previous one. It still won't be perfect. I'm not perfectionist, but a whole lot better looking than it was before. That's for sure. True oil. Just use my finger. I didn't videotape much of this, so I'll probably speed through this. Okay, hopefully the last coat, Birchwood Casey True Oil. Let that dry overnight. Come back tomorrow, and hopefully we can assemble this gun back together and give it a little test fire. All right, stay tuned. Here's the final product after my last coat of True Oil. It's not too bad. It's not perfect. First time I ever refinished wood in my entire life, but turned out alright. Stock, fore end. So I'm going to put this gun back together today. Get this one done, do some test firing. Alright, the day has come. Let's put this gun back together. Hopefully the video angle's alright for you to see what's going on here. Let's go back to the video and watch which screws went to where. There were 3 different length screws if I remember correctly. This bolt was rusted up, so I reblued that. Turned out okay, not perfect, but I didn't really care about the perfection there. I'm certain the one screw, this tiny little Phillips head screw, was going to go on the trigger guard, so I can get that in now. It's time to reassemble. And so we have the shortest of the 2 screws are going to go into the fore end here to hold down that spring retainer mechanism. Don't need to go too tight there. The longer but slightly smaller diameter ones will go into this piece here. Sizer. Well, systems. Yeah, so just space. Just like well, it's not hard to say. It's simple fighters. It's not a not a matter. It's a multiple laser. It's not been heard of. It's not used anymore. And can you build it? That's something about change. Whatever. But that these features. Those two screws felt good. Barrel back in here. I think this goes on afterwards. Okay. Alright, time to look at this a little bit from this angle over here. Take some after shots, pictures, and then we'll see if we can go drop the old 12 gauge for a couple test rounds, but sure does look a lot better than it did. Bluing isn't perfect, but I kind of like it's just a little light around here. It was brown before, remember that. So now we have a sort of black, more purple color. Alright, so that finishes up this video of this Remington Model 370 20 gauge break action single shot shotgun. Turned out pretty good. Bluing's alright. Definitely a whole lot better than the brown that was on here on the receiver. Wood turned out decent. I'm not a wood finisher by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, it's done. Looks a whole lot better than it used to be. I'll get it good and cleaned up, put away in the safe. I have a few more guns to work on coming up here soon. Hopefully get those in similar condition to this. Anyway, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.